Good morning, everyone. This is Shyam, Assistant Professor, Civil Department, Chevrolet Engineering College. Subject is Estimation, Specification, and Contracts. Unit 2, Analysis of Rates. Lecture 6 on topic is Introduction of Rate Analysis and Sources. So, what is the rate analysis and what is the sources of rate analysis? The rate analysis, the determination of rate per unit of particular item of work from the cost of quantities of materials, the cost of labors, and petty expenses required for it completion is known as the analysis of rates. The rates of materials and labor vary from place to place, and hence the rates of different items of works also vary from place to place. The purpose of rates analysis to work out the actual cost of per unit of these items, to work out the economical use of materials and process in completing the particular items, to work out the cost of extra items which are not provided in the contract bond but are to be done as per the directions of the client, to revise the schedule of rates due to increase in the cost of material and labor or due to change in technique. Data required for the analysis of rates. Details of the all operations involved in carrying out the work. The quantities of materials and their costs. The number of different categories of labors required, their working capacity and daily wages. Rates of items depends upon specification of works and materials, their quality, proportion and method of construction operation, quality of materials and their costs, cost of labor and their wages, location of site of work and the distances from the sources, and conveyance charges, overhead and establishment charges, profit and expenses of the contractor. Analysis of rates. The analysis of rates is worked out from the unit payment of the particular item of the work under two heads. First one is the materials and second one is the labor. These two are unit payment of the particular item of works. So material cost plus labor cost equal to cost of the items of work. Other items included are tools and plants, 2.5 to 3% of labor cost. Transportation cost more than 8 kilometers is considered. Water charges are 1.5 to 2% of total cost. And contractor profit 10%. Cost of materials. The cost of materials are taken there at site of work. This is inclusive of The first quote cost at origin, cost of transport, railways, freight, if any, etc., local taxes and other charges. Next one is the lead statement. The distance between the source of availability of materials and construction site is known as a lead and is expected in kilometers. The cost of conveyance of material depends upon lead. This statement is required when a material is transported from a distance place more than 8 kilometers. It is equal to 5 miles. Cost of labor. The labor can be classified into 3 types. There are first one is the skilled first class, skilled second class, and third one is the unskilled. The labor charges can be obtained for the standard schedule of rates. 30% of the skilled labor provided in the data may be taken as first class, remaining 70% as a second class. Contractor profit. This is the 6 to 10% net profit that is allowed to the contractor. 10% profit is not allowed on cement and steel. Next, miscellaneous lump sum provisions are made for miscellaneous items. Next one, overhead cost. The overhead cost comes about 6 to 8% of the project cost and include the indirect expenses incurred during execution of the project. General overheads are establishment like office staff. Next one, sanitary, printing, postage. Next one, travel expense, telephone, and rent and taxes. These are all general overheads. Next one, job overheads. In first one, supervision, like salaries of engineers, supervisors, etc. Next, handling of materials, repairs, carriage, depreciation of T&P, labor, workers' compensation, and insurance extra. Next one, interest on investment. Next, last one is the losses on advances. Next one is the task or out-turn work. The capacity of doing work is by skilled labor in the form of quantity of work per day in known as the task work or out-turn of the labor. The out-turn of work per artisan varies with situations and locations. In bigger cities where specialized and experienced labor is available, the out-turn is greater than in small towns and countryside. In well-organized work, less labor is required. Valuations. Valuation is the technique of estimating and determining the fair price or value of property, such as buildings, a factory or other engineering structures of various types and land, etc. The present value of property may be decided by its selling price or the rent it may fetch. The valuation mainly depends upon the type of buildings, locations, building structure and durability, the quality of materials used in construction, and size of the building. Cost, the original cost of construction or purchase. In value, the present value may be higher or lower than the cost. The valuation of building is determined on working out its cost of construction at present day rate and allowing the suitable depreciation. Purpose of valuation. Buying or selling property when it is required to buy or sell a property. Next one is the taxation. To access the tax of property, taxes may be municipal tax, wealth tax, property tax, etc. And all the taxes are fixed on the valuation of the property. Next one, the rent calculation. In order to determine the rent of property, rent is usually fixed on the certain percentage of the amount of valuation, which is 6% to 10% of valuation. And security of loans and mortgages when loans are taken against the security of the property. Next one is the purpose of valuation in compulsory execution. Whenever property is acquired by the law, compensation is paid to the owner. Valuation of the property is required in order to determine the amount of compensation. Next one is the purpose of valuations. Next one, insurance, betterment charges. Next one is speculation. Methods of valuations. Methods of valuations are classified into different types. There are first one is the rental method of valuation. Next, direct comparison with capital value. Next one is valuation based on profit. Valuation based on cost. Development method of valuation. Depreciation method of valuation. First one is the rental method. Net income by way of rent is found out, deducting of all outgoings from the gross rent. A suitable rate of interest as prevailing the market is assumed and years purchase is calculated. The net income multiplied by the years purchase gives the capitalized value or the valuation of the property. Next one, direct comparison with capital value. This method is used when the rental value is not available for the concerned property. Capitalized value is fixed by the direct comparison with capitalized value of similar property in the locality. Next one is the profit based method. This method is suitable for buildings like hotels, cinema theaters, etc., where the capitalized value depends upon the profit. The net annual income is worked out by the deducting all outgoings from the gross income. The net profit is multiplied by the years purchased to get the capitalized value. In these cases, valuations works out to be much higher than the original cost of construction. Cost based method of valuation. The actual cost incurred in the construction of the buildings or processing the property is taken as the basis for the determination of the value of a property. Necessary depreciation should be allowed. Points of obsolescence should be considered. Development method of evaluations. It is the another method. This method is used for properties which are an undeveloped or partly developed stage. Large piece of land to be divided into plots, developed and sold. If a building is renovated by the making additions, alterations, or improvements, the anticipated future is net income that the building's site may be fetched is determined. The net income multiplied by the year's purchase gives the anticipated capitalized value. Next one, depreciation method. It's the last method in the valuations. This method is divides into valuation of buildings into 4 parts. There are walls, roofs, floors, and last one is the doors and windows. And the cost of each part is first worked out for the present day rates using detailed measurements. The lifespan of the 4 components are determined and their depreciated value is ascertained by the formula capital D equal to P into 100 minus RD divided by 100. Here D is the depreciated value, P is the cost of present market rate, RD is the fixed rate of depreciation, R for rate, D for depreciation. Therefore, finally, N equal to age of the building. Here formula whole power N, N is the age of the building. The value of arrived at will be exclusive of cost of land, water supply, electrical and sanitary fixtures, etc., and will be apply only those buildings that are perfectly maintained. The present value of these have to be added to the valuation of buildings in order to arrive at the total valuation of the property. If repairs have been neglected and the building is suitable dedications and deductions shall be made. Next one is the mortgage. Money borrowed against security of the property that has been returned after specified amount of time. The person who takes the loan is a mortgager and the person who gives loan is mortgage. Relevant documents required for the mortgage transaction is known as a mortgage deed. Usually 50 to 70% of the valuation is advanced as loan. Freehold property and leasehold property. In mortgage, classified in two types. First one, freehold properties. When the owner is absolute possession of the property and can utilize it any which manner he likes. He can use the property for himself, grant lease or for any period time. Next one is the leasehold property. It indicates the physical position of the property, but the use of it may allowed by the original owner as per lease of documents. So next we are go to the problems. Then before we learn the concrete mix ratios by volumes and units weights of building materials. So first one, concrete mix ratio by volumes. Concrete mix ratios are prescribed ratio of cement, sand and aggregate to get the desired strength in concrete. The volumetric mix ratio of M20 concrete is 1:1.5:3. Hence, one part of cement, 1.5 of sand, and 3 part of aggregate in volume is needed to prepare M20 grade concrete. So here concrete grades and mix ratios. Mix ratios like cement, sand, aggregates, and their compressive strength. Concrete grade M5, 7.5, M10, M15, and M20. Mainly these are concrete grades are used in buildings. So mix ratios for M5 1:5:10 and M5 in compressive strength is 5 Newton per mm square. And M7.5 concrete grade and mixed ratio is 1:4:8. Next one is the compressive strength of the M7.5 is 7.5 Newton per mm square. Next grade is M10, mixed ratio 1:3:6, and compressive strength is 10 Newton per mm square. Next grade is 15 M15, and mixed ratio 1:2:4, and compressive strength 15 Newton per mm square. And final grade is the M20, mixed ratio 1:1.5:3, and compressive strength 20 Newton per mm square. These grades are mainly used in buildings. However, about concrete mix ratios may be not accurately followed in construction site. This may due to few reasons such as increased work quality by increasing fine aggregate, reverse sand and M sand, or to reduce cost by reducing cement content, etc. Access reducing of cement content or increase of sand content will will be adversely affect strength of concrete. Hence, it is advisable not to increase the fine aggregate. So, river sand content more than 30% above the prescribed ratio in any case. Before dividing into calculation, it is very important to understand the difference between nominal mixed concrete and design mixed concrete and their properties and concentrations. First method is calculating cement, sand, and coarse aggregate in volumes and weight from nominal concrete mix ratio. And second method is calculating the weight of sand and aggregate needed per bag of cement 50 kg bag using total weight aggregate value. Give it in IS code book. So unit weights are density of building materials, density of water 981 kg per cubic meter, 981. Density of steel 7850 kg per cubic meter. Density of cement 1440 kg per cubic meter, 1440. Density of brick 1600 to 1920 kg per cubic meter. So here density of brick in different bricks, first class brick, second class brick, and third class brick. So use density in different classes and different unit weight of the brick 16 to 1920. Density of coarse aggregate 2400 to 2900 kg per cubic meter. So a coarse aggregate different grades are used. So then 2004 to 2900 kg per cubic meter. It is the density of coarse aggregate. Next one, density of fine aggregate is 1450 to 2082 kg per cubic meter. Depending upon the different conditions like wet, dry, loose in fine aggregates. So next one is the density of concrete. It is 2440 kg per cubic meter. These are the densities of building materials in used problems. Next one, we find out the dry volume of concrete and a dry volume of mortar. In take 1 cubic wet concrete block. So here breadth 1 meter and depth is 1 meter, height is 1 meter. It is the wet concrete block. So total dimensions are 1 meter. Then we will find out the next volume. Volume is breadth, depth and height multiply. So 1 into 1 into 1 equal to 1 cubic meter. Here 1 cubic meter is the wet volume of the block. So here wet volume to how to convert in dry volume in concrete and mortar. So first one, wet volume of concrete. It is the 1 cubic meter volume. So here 52-54% moisturization. Then after dry volume of concrete is formed. So dry volume of concrete is equal to wet volume of concrete plus wet volume of concrete plus 50-54% of wet volume of concrete. So 1 cubic meter wet volume of concrete is 1 plus 54 means 54 percentage divided by 100 into wet volume is 1. So 1 plus 0.54 equal to 1.54. So dry volume of the concrete is 1.54 per 1 cubic meter. Then after we find out 20 cubic meter of dry volume, then dry volume of concrete equal to 1.54 into 20. Next, similarly, dry volume of mortar. Here, dry volume of concrete is mixed with cement, fine aggregate, and coarse aggregate. Here, dry volume of mortar add cement and fine aggregates. So here formula same this process wet volume of mortar, then form 25 to 30 percentage of moisture, dry volume of mortar. So therefore dry volume of mortar equal to wet volume of mortar plus 25 to 30 percentage of wet mortar. Wet volume of mortar is 1 cubic meter plus 1 plus here take 30%, 30 by 100. We are taking 22, 25 to 30, here 50 to 54, any one. So here 50 to 54, 50 to 52 is like take M5 grade to M10 grade. Same similarly here 30 divided by 100 into 1 equal to 1 plus 0.30 equal to 1.30. It is the dry volume of mortar. So solve the problem. Write the problem. Calculate the quantity of material of following items. First one RCC. RCC means reinforced cement concrete. 1:2:4 for 20 cubic meter for work. Next, second one is the RCC 1:3:6 for 15 cubic meter for work. So we solve the A and B. First A, given that, so in this A RCC 1:2:4 mixed design and 20 cubic meter is wet volume of concrete. So you write wet volume of concrete equal to 20 cubic meter. Next, convert to dry volume of concrete equal to, so 1.54 multiply with 20. Here equal to 30.8 cubic meters dry volume. Next, the mixed proportion is 1:2:4. So 1 is cement, 2 is fine aggregate, 4 is coarse aggregate. So first the requirement is cement requirement, fine aggregate requirement, and coarse aggregate requirement. We find these three requirements. First one is cement. The required of cement equal to is formula dry volume of concrete multiply here cement value divided by mixed proportion adding cement proportion, fine aggregate proportion, it is coarse aggregate. So one is the cement proportion. We find out cement is taken cement proportion, then we find out fine aggregate taken fine aggregate proportion, then we find out coarse aggregate proportion divided by 1 plus 2 plus 4. So next one, dry volume of concrete is, we find out 30.8 into 1 divided by 1 plus 2 plus 4 equal to 4.7. So 30.8 divided by 7 equal to 4.4 cubic meters. Next, how much weight of cement and how much number of bags in use in this mix proportion. So first we weight the cement. We find the weight of cement. Therefore, weight of cement equal to, so requirement of cement is 4.4 cubic meters multiplied with density of cement is 1440. So 4.4 multiplied with density equal to 6336 kgs. It is the weight of cement. Then it's converted into number of bags. So number of bags equal to 6336 divided by unit weight of bag is 50 kgs. So it equal to 126.72. It is equal to 127 bags. It is a requirement of cement. Next one is the fine aggregate. Fine aggregate means sand. The sand requirement is equal to dry volume of concrete multiply with sand proportion, means fine aggregate proportion divided by mix proportions addings 1 plus 2 plus 4. So next dry volume of concrete is 30.8 multiply with 2 divided by 7. Then finally 8.8 cubic meters. So the sand requirement is 8.8 cubic meters. Next one is the coarse aggregates. The aggregates required equal to dry volume of concrete multiply with coarse aggregate mix proportion divided by mix proportions like cement, sand, aggregates 1 plus 2 plus 4. So dry volume of concrete is 30.8 multiply with 4 divided by mix proportion adding 7. Then finally requirement is aggregate 17.6 cubic meters. This is the 20 cubic meter wet concrete. Next one, second one is the RCC, reinforced cement concrete. 1:3:6 for 15 cubic meter per work. So here also find out the dry volume of concrete and requirement of in mixed proportion cement, fine aggregates and coarse aggregates. So first one, the wet volume of concrete is equal to 15 cubic meters. Dry volume of concrete equal to 1.54 into wet concrete is 15 equal to 23.1 cubic meters. Mixed proportion is 1:3:6. 1 is the cement, 3 is the fine aggregate, and 6 is coarse aggregate. So first we will find out the cement requirement and fine aggregate requirement, and finally coarse aggregate requirement. So first one, cement. The cement required equal to dry volume of concrete multiply with cement proportion divided by mixed proportion 1 plus 3 plus 6. Dry volume of concrete is 23.1 into 1 divided by mixed proportion 1 plus 3 plus 6 equal to 10. So 1 divided by 10 equal to 2.31 cubic meters. Then we find out the weight of cement and number of bags of cements. So first, weight of cement is equal to the cement requirement multiply with density of cement. So volume of cement is 2.31 cubic meters multiply with density of cement is 1440 equal to 3326.4 kgs of cement. Then it's converted into bags. Therefore, number of bags equal to weight of cement divided by 1 bag weight. So it is equal to weight of cement is 3,326.4 divided by weight of the bag is 50 kgs equal to 66.5 weight. Then approximately equal to 67 bags of cement. Next, fine requirements. Fine aggregate means sand. The sand required equal to dry volume of concrete multiply sand proportion and mix proportion. So dry volume of concrete is 23.1 multiply sand proportion is 3 divided by mix proportion 1 plus 3 plus 6 means equal to 10. Then calculate the sand requirement is 6.93 cubic meters. Next one, coarse aggregate requirement. The aggregate required equal to dry volume of concrete multiply with coarse aggregate requirement divided by 1 plus 3 plus 6 equal to 23.1 multiply 6 divided by 10. 10 means mixed proportion 1 plus 3 plus 6. So 23.1 into 6 divided by 10 and solve these values. Then we'll find the total aggregate required 13.86 cubic meters. So we find out RCC in 20 cubic meters and RCC in 15 cubic meters. Then we find out any problem in RCC mix ratios, which ratio is given and which one is find out. So here 1:2:4. Then find out the cement, fine aggregates, coarse aggregates requirements. Thank you. Any doubts?